I have done many bad things online and never got a chance to apologize. I take full accountability for my actions and will not blame anyone mentioned. I will not go into full detail about everything because recalling some events makes me uncomfortable. Even though I have already addressed this a few years ago, I deleted the video, so I'd like to clarify some things. The situation happened in late 2020, so I apologize if some details are incorrect. I'm going to be referring to this individual as Ocean. Ocean was an online individual that I had a very strong crush on. Because of this, I started to act obsessive and weird around them. I made a lot of fan art and tried talking to them, but I didn't realize it then, but the fan art I drew would have come off as very creepy. Because of my obsessiveness, Ocean became uncomfortable with me. A person I will be referring to as T learned about this and started harassing me along with their friends. It was not a pleasant experience. Ocean did not ask for any of this, and it was just T being defensive. I have already apologized to Ocean. T has apologized for the harassment. After the situation settled, I haven't interacted much with either. Shortly after the situation, I temporarily blocked T. Many of you may know the Discord and YouTube account called Imposter the Thing. I stated that he was a friend I knew in person. Imposter is not a real person. I just wanted to have a friend who could help me with some things. I've thought about doing this years before the account was made. I soon got obsessed with the details and would do things to make it difficult for others to find the truth. I shouldn't have had done this in the first place. At some point, I couldn't manage it anymore and just abandoned everything. His computer is in my garage and I can't access it right now. 3 people initially knew about this and they promised to keep quiet. I have had a history of acting rude or unnecessarily aggressive towards people online and offline. I do not mean to come off that way, as I often do in a playful manner. Sometimes it can be difficult for people to detect tone, especially online. I apologize to those affected by this. I lack self-control and I'm trying to stop this behavior. Most of these statements occurred around or before 2020, with a few occurring after. I have stated that I was homophobic and have made some slightly transphobic statements in the past. I no longer stand by those statements I have made. I apologize to anyone who has seen those statements and felt hurt. When I first got on Twitter, I saw an individual whom I will call Tap asking for friends. I told them that I'd be happy to be their friend. I made the mistake of not checking their profile, which stated that they are a Zoof. I did not find out until a day later. I did not want to go against my offer, so I stayed their friend. Tap is a minor who does not condone contact Zoof. I do not condone Zoof in any way. I have already stated this, but do not try to find and harass Tap. Several people noticed Tap and I were mutuals and questioned me about it. I told them that I was afraid to cut ties with them as they had some information about me that they could easily use against me. While this is true, it wasn't a valid excuse to not cut ties with them, because that information about me is public now. I should have been more firm with my statements, as they stated that they wished I wasn't against Zeus. I do not condone Zoof and never will. I no longer communicate with Tap. This section will cover how I've inappropriately responded to people's vents. A person whom I will be referring to as C was venting about their vents being ignored. I wanted to be kind by responding to them. I do not remember my exact response, but it was something like, "Oh, I also don't like that when it happens." I had no ill intentions, but C got very mad at me and responded by saying, okay, you're just pretending to know how I feel." I was already having a really bad day because some dirtbag I'll be calling Axe was being rude to me out of nowhere when I was also trying to help them. There's no excuse for what I said next, but C's response upset me. I retaliated by saying something like, "Why don't you go somewhere where people will say what you want to hear? I'm not your therapist." I then left the group chat. After that, C developed more mental issues because of what I said to them. I take full responsibility for my actions. My emotions are no reason to lash out at someone struggling mentally. I've tried apologizing to C, but I'm unsure if my apology reached them. I want to apologize again for the damage I have caused them. I deeply regret being unable to control myself. I blocked C because I don't like seeing things reminding me of the wrongs I have done. I blocked Axe because that dirtbag is a lying, unchanging garbage pile. I am still very uncomfortable discussing this. I apologize if I'm unclear with the details. A person I will be referring to as Quail was venting about a situation where they were going through abuse. I wanted to help them, so I tried to say some comforting words. They retaliated angrily. I do not blame them for this reaction. I wanted to help them escape the situation, and I tried to talk about how to help, but it seemed like they didn't want it. Another individual I will refer to as Elf thought I was joking in this situation. This upset me because I was very upset at school while reading everything. Elf made a statement about how I usually joke around in serious situations. I got mad at Elf and then left the group chat. I don't know what to say about this one. I don't mean to sound disingenuous and inconsiderate. I'm sorry for responding poorly. I was in a bad headspace at the time. I've blocked Quail and Elf because I don't like to be reminded of my wrongs. On the statement where I joke in serious situations, I do that to myself to cope with certain things. I usually respond with small jokes to close friends because I know that would also make them feel better. I understand that that is not an appropriate response to everyone, and different people cope differently and want different things. Please don't vent to me unless we're close. If you're going to yell at me when I'm trying to be kind, I might retaliate. I take full accountability for my actions stated before. I won't pull up any examples of these because there are far too many, and I don't think either of us would want to see the stupid things I say. I have a history of making sexual jokes and many sexual comments because it catches people's attention. I like attention, especially negative attention. I got used to talking this way amongst friends online and offline who are okay with it and make similar jokes. I have said these things around minors, some younger than me. I'm also a minor, but that doesn't make it okay. I have made many uncomfortable with these statements. I am sorry to anyone affected by my obscene sense of humor and statements that have made people uncomfortable. I take full responsibility for what I say. As I stated earlier, I have poor self-control and tend to say things for attention. I'm trying to stop saying these types of things. There is no excuse for my actions. I know I still make these statements sometimes, but it is difficult to break old habits, and I am trying to refrain from saying these things. I will not use any examples because looking back on them makes me uncomfortable. I have never said any slurs except for those I can reclaim. I have not used these slurs to intentionally name call or offend anyone. I have made a few racist jokes towards people that offended them. I got used to making racist jokes around friends online and offline who are okay with it and make similar jokes. Because of this, I have gotten too comfortable with making these statements. I'm sorry for anyone hurt or offended by these statements. I do not condone racism and discrimination of any form. I am trying to develop better self-control. This happened this year, which is 2024, on Blue Sky. I am still uncomfortable talking about this. I won't go through too many details, just the main ones. Someone I will be referring to as Pi reposted a post regarding a hate crime that resulted in death. The poster made a statement about Christians and how they always do these awful things. I responded by saying that what happened was awful and that isn't what Christians should do. I also said I hope the individual's family and friends could recover from the incident. I had no ill intentions with my post. Later, I found out someone was angry with my statement and commented on my comment about how I shouldn't mention Christianity in this situation. The original poster of the post blocked me. The commenter didn't. I'm sorry for mentioning something that wasn't warranted. I had no ill intentions and I wish the best for those affected. I have deleted that comment I made. I unfollowed Pi because they repost a lot of stuff I'm not interested in and frequently repost slightly negative news I don't like seeing. I'm sorry for everything I've said and done. I don't care if people don't forgive me for anything I did. I just wanted to get everything out of the way and properly apologize, even though the people affected will likely not see this.